rascal, because God knows that there were several rascals, and I did even have an experience while I was at that church. I did have an experience, and I felt like
what was your experience?
There you go.
What was your experience?
That's all you wanted me to say. I had an experience that finally I was supposed to be in a relationship with somebody, and that was real interesting. What's wrong? What's the?
I didn't know the experience you had.
Oh, you need.
I want to make sure that was the one we were talking about, because it was another experience. I wasn't experienced about that experience.
You are silly. So there was an experience that I did have that was supposed to be a relationship, and it was real strange. It was real strange. And when his dad told him that he didn't know whether or not I was seeing anyone, he said because he never saw me with anybody, he never saw me sitting with anybody at church, so surely she can't be in a relationship. So what he decided to do was, well, if she is in a relationship, I know how to draw him out,
and
whomever he may be.
And let me tell you how this went, guys. Because my dad, that's what he said. He said, because I was curious, I'm single. And I'm built, guys, anybody know, I'm built to be married. God built me to be a married man. I'm not one of those that play the field. I'm one of those that's, 4 things I can guarantee. I guaranteed my wife from the day that, 4 things I can promise you. 1, I will not verbally abuse you. Donna I've never called her out of her name, cursed her out, belittled her. That's not me. I would not verbally abuse you. 2, I would not financially abuse you. All I have, Donna, you had, and all $6, she took them. I didn't have much. Didn't have much. Okay. Didn't have much, but what I had, that I gave to her.
Give that unto you.
Yeah, I gave it to her, guys. And so what we were looking at is
That's better.
You good? Okay. And so what we were looking at, guys, you'll find. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get, because guys, we're trying to sit up. We're trying to, give y'all some ambiance with the fireplace. So we don't have any back support.
Okay. So what we had that, guys, and so we're not verbally abused. I've never done that. Never financially abused her. I have never physically put my hands on her in an abusive manner to her. No way, form or fashion. And I would never, ever have an affair. Those 4 things guarantees that, and that's where that was with me. That's what it was with me and with her. So what I told my dad, because my thing is, I've seen the devastation of cheating and what it brings. So I would never do that. Because of the ripple effects. And so I asked my dad, I said, Dad, have you ever seen her with anybody? He said, well, no, I ain't never seen her with nobody. She's a fine woman, but I ain't never seen her with nobody. I said, okay, so as I'm going there, remember, I have no church and stuff. So so I said to her, okay, I want to just watch. I want to keep an eye on her. But I watched now in this church, this mega church, she never sat with anybody. I never seen her go out the church with anybody. I never seen her come into church with anybody. So I'm sitting and thinking, okay, what's going on here? So I made an approach towards her. Now, mind you guys, my mindset is, this is Duncan Hines. This is my childhood sweetheart.
I know.
So I was free. I was as free as can be, guys. I was as free as can be. So, hey, Duncan Hines, how you going? And so, my thing was, I looked at her and I'm talking with her, and she informs me that she's seeing someone. The devil! So I said,
devil.
That's a lie he was telling. So I said, and so I'm sitting and thinking, and she's saying, she let me know that she was seeing someone. And I respect that. And so immediately,
what did you do?
I pulled back, way back. And I put all my energy and all of my time, I just stayed focused into that.
Well, what did you tell me?
Well, it
Oh
did,
no, that was later.
That was later.
I
I got myself together.
Okay.
I know what was going on in my life. What you mean, girl?
Okay.
And so,
that was later.
Yeah, and so she was sitting there, and so I went on. I focused there, but I've never seen her sitting with anyone, nor did I see her around anyone, and that made no sense to me.
I came to the house of the Lord to serve, praise, and worship Him. I ain't had time for no foolishness.
But you were seeing somebody.
Sort of, kinda.
Well, what that mean?
You know, that story was, listen,
So-
you can't give all them details, but you know that was strange.
But nevertheless, in the midst of all of that, guys, so I sit there and she told me. So I told her, I said
Was
to
your
her,
feelings hurt?
what? I was bewildered, if you will, because I never seen anyone, but she's given all of the signs because she is a no-nonsense girl. She don't play these type games. So I'm reading these signs and I'm figuring, because I'm still seeing her, this is my childhood sweetheart. And so I'm not intimidated by her. A lot of men will be intimidated by her because she very classy at dress, knows where she's going, plays no games. So some men, they're not gonna play that game. You know, look, man, not this one. And so, but for me, none of that meant anything to me because this was my childhood sweetheart.
But then this particular day, it was after church, and we were going to our cars, and you happened to see me. Mm-hmm. And there you go, Duncan Hines.
Hines.
And then you had the boys with you.
Sure did.
And you just started talking, and that's when I was informing you that, you know, I am seeing somebody, and I started sharing with you. When I say it's crazy and it was strange, I started sharing with him the dynamics of that so-called relationship and the particular young man that I was seeing, how he wanted to go about the relationship. So when I was sharing that with him, he making all them faces and he looking like,
girl, this game,
this
playing games.
He's like, what?
This is what I said to her, guys. And so I looked, I said, okay. You know, I'm looking at her, I said, this guy, what I'm saying, he don't want to sit with you in church. Y'all not seen together in church. What do y'all see in that thing, family? And so I said, listen to me. If this guy is not trying to be seen.
And then of all times, I couldn't discern that foolishness.
Yeah, but so I said, look, I said, there's a dead cat on the line somewhere. Somewhere, there's a dead cat.
But during that strange relationship, because of what I had been through in my first marriage, I felt like what we were doing would help me learn how to really trust again. And I know you may not, that may not make sense because I'm not giving you all of the details, but in me thinking back on how in the world did you even agree to that kind of a relationship if you're not sitting together in church and you're not really going anywhere, you don't talk much on the phone. I think we were writing each other letters and putting them in the mail, that kind of stuff. I felt like that situation would allow me to learn how to trust, because there's nothing worse, I think, in a man having to walk in another man's shadow. Okay, so my having been hurt, I just felt like that. Okay, maybe this is a way to help me learn how to trust again as it pertains to being in a relationship. But when he heard it, he was like,
This is game. No,
this
is
babe.
game.
This
So,
babe. No, you didn't say babe. You was
I said, listen, listen, there's a dead cat on the line.
That's exactly what he said.
I said, something is not right with this. That's not what a man does. And so I said, this is what I said. I said, listen, if this does not work out, promise me you'll let me know. Because guys, as a guy, I knew it was already game and this what this dude was sending, because who is not gonna sit with, man, look, a man, when he is interested in something, he mark his territory. He gonna mark his territory. I'm gonna sit, hold my coat, baby, I'm finna go up here. So everybody else will know that, okay, she's spoken for. And so I'm like, just let me know. If this doesn't work, promise me, you'll let me know.
And I was like, go ahead. No.
I said, only thing I'm asking you is promise me.
And then you got serious.
Yeah, I said,
look at me.
Look at me. Look at me.
Look
at me. I'm serious. Look at me. If this does not work, would you promise me you'll let me know? I don't know. Just, okay, you sure. I know you're confident. You're sure. So since you're that sure, it shouldn't be a problem for you to say, okay. She said, okay, I will. That's all I'm asking for. And so what did I do? I backed off. But I kept watching because I wanted to see. Okay, and then one night, it was a Wednesday night service.
What did you decide to do?
It's nighttime. She's finna walk. Now, mind you, mega church. You guys got, it's, now remind you, again, I'm watching. And I'm still not seeing her sitting with anybody. I'm still seeing her sitting alone. And I'm sitting here, of course, I'm on the other end of the church, but I'm able to look and see this. And so I see her gets up. Now, mind you, this is a mega church, so there's a big parking lot outside. And so I see her get up, and now it's about when you're into daylight saving time is over, and it's 7 o'clock. It's jet dark at that time. And so she's going out to the parking lot alone. And I say to myself, there's no way in the world she can have no one under these grounds. Doesn't make any difference with me. If there's any man here, and that's her, and he is marking her as territory or saying that's his, well then I'm going to find out right now. So immediately I get up and I go out with her, and as she's going out the door, I start speaking to her. And I'm saying, Duncan Hines.
And she I'm rolling my eyes.
Oh Lord, it's him again. I said, where are you going? And she said, going to my car. And I'm saying, why in the world are you thinking? What are you thinking? Walking to a car at night by yourself in a parking lot like this? Anything can happen. Not church people, but you're around a neighborhood. So why would this be? And she's saying, she's just sitting there talking with me. I just want to make sure you get to your car properly. Now, all of this time, guys, I'm drawing time because I need to know. And so I'm sitting there with her, just talking with her and making sure everything is okay. And she's looking. And guys, from nowhere, he appears. Okay, guys, so I'm standing there and I'm talking, and this guy appears out of nowhere. So he walks up and he looks at her and he says, hey, babe. And he reaches up and gives her a kiss on her cheek.
Why you gotta be reaches up?
Guys, she already 4'1".
I am not that short.
She 4'1", and he reach up and give her a kiss. So he 3'9", 3'2".
You need to quit.
And I'm sitting down here, I'm looking down like, hey, y'all down at this. But out of nowhere, he comes in and he says, I guess he too was watching, and he saw me go out of this door, and he comes out, and there I am at her car talking to her. And he walks up, he says, hey man, give her a kiss on her cheek. And I said, so you the invisible man. I mean, in his words, he said, I said, so you're going to get married? Well, yeah, what? I'm sitting here looking at all of this right here, listening to all this acrobatics that he's giving. And so my thing was, okay, because at this point now, guys, you're pretty much having a silent duel, if you will. A silent duel. And so I'm looking at this guy, and I'm trying to, because it never made sense to me. And as a man, it doesn't make sense. Your job is to protect, to guard in every way, form, or fashion. And it should be clearly, that's what a wedding ring says. She is spoken for. And so with this, I'm looking. And as I said this, I watch him with engagement rings. It says. That's what it says. You're spoken for. So the thing is with that, he seemed to be doing some acrobatics. Now, I wouldn't disrespect the man. But at that point, I had made it up in my mind because she had said to me that she was dating someone. And now I have seen there is someone there. So for me, it's all hands off.
You had forgot exactly what you said, though. You remember when we were talking before we got to that, and you made me promise you.
And I told her, that's what I did. But I made it, remember now, before the night, that Wednesday night, we was at 7 o'clock Bible study, so it was like 8, something like that. So for a fact, it's dark outside. But before then, when she had told me this, I had asked her to give me a promise that she would let me know if this thing just doesn't work. And the reason why I wanted to know, because something just didn't seem right. And even from talking with you guys, you said, no, there was a lot of signals there. Something wasn't right here. But I made her promise. If this does not work out, let me know. And she finally got to our promise. And this is what I told her. I wanted to know. Because if there's someone here, if he slips, trips, or misses a step, I'm going to catch you before you hit the ground. And my thing was, I was serious. I was as serious as can be, guys, because my thing was, what I'm looking at here, it doesn't line up. This is not something that a person does. A person that does not say a man whose mind is solid and made up, I'm ready to go forward and have a life. That's not the step of a man like that.
Baby, say that again.
I said it, girl. I said it with authority. Let me tell you something. If he should slip, trip, or miss a step, I'm going to catch you before you hit the ground. Girl, that sound...
Yes, sir.
Can we get this for a minute? Can we get this go away? I need to talk to you about bubble gum.
You need to tell me about some bubble gum? That bubble gum you stole. That bubble gum you stole. You slim.
And so, guys, that's what that was. That's exactly what that was, guys, with that. But when I seen him, in respect for this gentleman, and for whatever reason, I guess I drawed him out of the woods, and he did exist. And that's why I made a statement. So you're the invisible man. And so my thing was, I pulled back.
You so sarcastic.
I pulled back, and I got out the way.
He did.
And so then we go into the new year. It's a brand new year going from 1999 to 2000. And so there we are. And you know, the balls come around. We're doing all this celebrating, and everything is well. And so we're into a new year. And I was sitting in church, just thinking about the goodness of the Lord.
It was sometime later after that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, baby, New Year's just seemed to me it came so quickly. So I'm sitting there, I just love the Lord and just thinking about, my mind is only on the things of the Lord. When I was sitting there just in deep fellowship with God, and she whispered in my ear.
I did. You was walking by. This was before church started. You so crazy. It was right before church started.
Right before church started, really, guys. Before church started, we getting there. Now, mind you, I'm huddled over in my corner, licking my wounds because I'm trying to survive now. She is going on with she came by because I had made her a promise, remember?
No, I had made you a promise.
Yeah, she made me a promise. But I had made her a promise. I said, I made you a promise. And she promised me. And so I was sitting there and I was minding my own business, getting ready for church. And the atmosphere is kind of hot. I could feel God's presence right there. Something great God was finna do. Walls was finna be torn down. Barriers was finna be broken. The Lord got her.
You crazy.
So that's where we were, guys, and she came by, and she said,
"He got me."
Yeah, when she said these words, she said these words, it changed my whole world.
But initially, the first few seconds, you was like,
"Yeah." So she walks up, she said, "He got me."
All I said was because I didn't want to talk about it, and we were crossing each other's paths, and spoke. And all I said, he got me. And I kept going. I ain't even stopped. I said, he got me.
And I did like this. I said, okay, who got you? I'm thinking that because my mind is on the Lord. I'm thinking she said the Lord got her. So she said, he got me. I said, well, who got you? She said, he got me. And she kept walking. I knew it wasn't the Lord because whoever had it seemed like he dropped them. And I said, oh, my Lord. Man, I ran. Let me tell you two things, people.
He did.
It's a there.
Wait, no, I'm telling you, when you came by me, told me, oh, what happened? I said, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm so sad.
I mean, he acted like he was so concerned. What happened?
Oh my God! I tell me, I just need to be here to console you through this.
I said, I don't want to talk about it. He told me, well, let me give you my number. He done got the usher, got an offering envelope.
Get the offering envelope, Lord. This is a gift offering.
He wrote his number on the offering envelope. He said, give me a call.
Just give me a call.
Just call me.
Just call me. And I just wanna make sure you okay. Oh God, you gotta move fast, Lord. He might change his mind, God. Show yourself mighty. I asked, would you give me a call? And so when she got home and got settled in, she gave me a call. And the conversation went all all the way until the next morning.
All night long.
There was
Talked on the phone.
and we caught up on a lot of things. And so since I knew I was not going to work because I was fatigued for some reason, I was tired. I don't know why I was tired.
Why were you tired?
I don't know, I'm not sure. But I
Because
said
you were on the phone all night?
that could have been a serious reason. That could have been a
I
reason.
mean, we got off the phone about, what, 5:30 the next morning?
5:30 next morning. It's something like that, 5:30. And so what I did is I called in. I've never ever abused my time, so I had plenty of time. So I called in and I took the day. I said, why don't you just come over? I said, let me make you breakfast.
He made me them old dirty grits, y'all. He ain't wash his grits.
Girl, let me tell you, I ain't know nothing about no grits. The grits, listen.
They were good though.
But let me tell you something, guys. And so what I did, I left. And let me show you, I wasn't playing no games.
Yeah.
This thing, I wasn't playing no games. And so I looked and I said, I'm out of eggs. And so I had to run to the store. And so I left this big note on my screen door, just letting them know, I'll be right back. I'm going to the store to get some eggs. So this is not a person that was in any games because, it wouldn't have been no hot. Remember, we had the access to all this stuff.
And this was like early September. Early September.
And that's what I did. I went and I fixed her breakfast. And she ate. And she was sitting down, and it was a movie.
What was the movie?
Titanic. It was the Titanic. I was sitting down with her and she was watching the Titanic and I could see her eyes getting heavy. And I don't know why she was sleepy. I mean, what? We only talked to 5:30 a.m. What was she sleepy for? She don't eat, and so I could see that she was. So what I did, guys, is I took a pillow and I laid it down as I was sitting on the couch looking at the Titanic, and I laid it down. And she laid down right there and I just stroked her hair and she slept. And that's where it was all holy before God, all righteous.
Were you looking at me while I was?
Yes, I watched this because, guys, how fast this moved. I mean, just remember the night before, I came home to my empty house because there was no one there. It was not my time to keep my kids. So they was went with their mom. And I was there. That was my life, my kids. I just wrapped myself up. I would go to work. I would get my kids. I would come home, get them ready, get them baths, feed those guys, let them sit down and look at their cartoons before they went to bed. Get up in the morning to take them. So, that was my life. And went to bed, went home that night, the night before, to just what regular was. But God had a whole change of plans. And so the next day, who would have known my childhood sweetheart?
Not right. You keep talking bad. Close this line behind.
So within, not even 12 hours, my childhood sweetheart was laying right there. And I was stroking her as she slept. And that was my world. That was, my thoughts was, if the world ended right then, I was the happiest man that was getting ready to die, because I was pleased. I was pleased with life, and it was. Yeah, I would have been pleased right there. Where all I had to do was get my kids home, and I could have died. I was just great. That would have been just well for me. So that's where we were with that, guys, and I spent much time again. Many conversations went from there, and I can then recall, it was told to us later on, finally we were sitting together in church, because I was not going to be that guy.
I know, right?
Not me. So we're sitting together in church, and the pastor and his wife was in a balcony.
No, it wasn't church, baby. We were at a wedding.
A wedding, yeah.
We were at a wedding.
A wedding, that's what it was. In church, but there was a wedding.
So this happened early September, but we were at a wedding on October the 4th. We were on a wedding, and Mama was upstairs, and Bishop was doing the wedding. So
right.
She was upstairs looking over the balcony and saw us sitting together. And she called somebody, look. I mean, because the way we were sitting, you could tell that we were together. And that's when you proposed.
Yeah, and if right there at our friend's wedding.
Friend's
wedding.
wedding.
Didn't want to take no shine from him, so it was a private proposal. Right there to her. Because when you know what you want, listen. A guy, when he goes to the grocery store, he knows exactly what he's going in there to get. He ain't browsing for nothing. Now, he may get something on the way to what he's going to get, but he go get exactly what he's going to get, and he's getting out of there. I don't want to be in the grocery store anyway. And so for me, I knew exactly what it was that I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. And when I got it, there's no time for no games. I told her, I know what I'm built to be. And I know what I have observed about her. And like-minded. And so it worked well, guys. And so
put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it real fast.
We still put a ring on it.
What you keep changing sometimes. Why you got a ring on everything?
My ring, baby.
I know, baby, but you jiggling
You put a
So the thing is, guys, we did, and we love our friends.
And it's the same ring.
The exact same ring. Over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago, guys. And it's been, when I say we have seen some challenges. We have seen some ups.
So wait a minute, back up. So we were engaged October the 4th.
4th of October.
And then we were married on Valentine's Day 2001. 2001. So it was very quick.
Yeah.
It was very quick.
And guess it was no huge, big everything. I've seen people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a wedding that don't even last a year or two.
We actually got married on a Wednesday. We got married on a Wednesday. Several of my close friends, well, they were like really my sisters. Close sister friends were in the wedding. Of course, we did a little red and white. My hostesses had on red. My sister friends that were in the wedding, I wanted them to wear a cream. They could wear whatever they wanted to wear. Just made sure it was cream colored. And his fellas had on black suits. They went and purchased black suits, something that they could wear again. We didn't want to rent anything. We had, after the ceremony, like I said, it was a Wednesday. After the ceremony, we had little cupcakes. I think it was Dewey's cupcake squares to go. And then we took our bridal party. Some of our family members went with us, and we went to eat at a restaurant. Like, we didn't do this big reception. We took care of our bridal party. The rest of the folk had to take care of their own meal. And we just kept it simple.
Kept it very simple. Because, guys, it's not how big of a wedding you have, but how long the marriage lasts. And so what we did, guys, is our time we was focused in on one another, not trying to impress somebody.
Yeah.
We was there for one another. And it was, that was we're going at 21 years now.
Do the math. It was 2001.
2001, 2011, 21. So 21 years. We actually wanted 22 years. Yeah, 22 years. So 22 years, guys. 22 years. This has been my,
And what did my mom say? Mom said she said the mouse grew up to what?
Mouse grew up to be a big kangaroo. Because I'm telling you guys, that little short fat, look, she fixed some things, guys. She trimmed up and her teeth came together, and the little skinny mouse grew up, looking down on her, no longer that little short, But guys, honestly, it has been a joy. Listen. So
when we immediately married, of course, we immediately became that blended family.
A blended family.
So we got married in February, and we had one daughter, 2 sons, and of course, they immediately became they were our children. We weren't step parents.
No.
We never referred to each other as, even on when we would fill out school information, it was never a step parent. We are bonus parent. Those are our children. Those are our children, point blank, period. And then, so we got married in February, and then we got pregnant with Stephen, with our dude number 2, in October. We found out in October that we were, actually it was the end of September, because I remember we went to the fair and I was riding the fair rides and everything, not realizing I was pregnant. But So you didn't waste no time impregnating me. Got married in February and you got me knocked up.
March, April, May, June,
by
July.
end of September.
August. She took advantage of me, guys. I was taking advantage of, and I was so angry the way she was taking advantage of me.
Yeah, I don't think you were too mad about it.
I was real mad.
You were? I couldn't tell.
You should have saw how angry I was mad it was. And so that's what so we started, guys, with our family and with our kids. And you guys, if you go and look at the just recent video my wife just posted, which was
Thanksgiving
live. The live. You could just see the camaraderie with the family. You would just see, guys. It is.
And if you've not seen our blended family videos that we did that last Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving of 2021, when all the kids were home, we did a video talking about the blended family. So, and you were able to hear from all of our kids. But it's been a wonderful journey. Some of the things that we went through years and years ago, even in our first marriage, it seems like it never happened. It seems like we have always been married. It just seems like we have always been married. And it's almost like that part of our lives never really existed. And of course we have the reminder looking at our children, but they are all of our children, and we have a wonderful family. Our kids love each other so much, and we are really blessed.
And that was just a joy, guys, to see them just this Thanksgiving, just the way they all, because they was all at their sister's house, and they was really staying up late, of course, ragging one another, just enjoying themselves. And I'm telling you, Lil Jackson was so wore out when his uncles left that when did he pass out of his?
Ooh, I think he may have been laying in the floor.
Yeah,
and then she went and said, "Come on." So he laid down with her. But yes, it's been a wonderful.
Yeah, he just slept all day because he has really enjoyed his uncles, and really, guys, that's part of the story with us. God has really, truly been good to us. Now, we have seen some troubled times, but we stuck through it together. But even with everything that God has blessed us with, and as happy as a family we've ever been, there have been some challenging and there's some troubled times. And from a male's perspective, a man goes inwardly when these things happen to try to figure it out, realizing the load that's on his shoulders to carry it on. But God has been good. He has delivered us out of all of them. But there were some troubled times, guys. It wasn't always good. And in 20, 21 years, you're gonna see some trouble. You're gonna see some problems. And so that's where we were at, and seeing some of the things we have had in the midst of it, guys. An accident that almost took my life, that really put me in a bad situation and had to get into recovery. We have seen some challenges from the outside of the home that brought great havoc to the inside of the home that we had to try to navigate through.
Right. We did.
We've seen challenges of some of the financial challenges of losing a home to foreclosure, because a serious decision had to be made, and some great joys of seeing a business, starting a business that was very lucrative, but also seeing the pain some years later of seeing that business forced out.
And what we've learned over the years is that in marriage, you build a foundation through adversities. And I can honestly say, through everything that we have faced, I don't remember any of it having us at one another. We had to remember at the end of the day that we are on the same team. We're on the same team, and we have really faced some hard times. And I can honestly say one of the hardest times was definitely the foreclosure, losing our home, and just having to pack up everything and walk away.
And even in that, my protection for my wife was, no, babe, you go ahead, you go, I will pack this up.
And that's amazing to me. That's just how he protects me. He protects me because, of course, it's emotional trying to get things together, trying to pack up, so knowing that you're losing your home. But he was trying to make it as easy, if you will. It wasn't easy by any means of the word, but just trying to protect me as much as he could from, just crying and just the heartache of packing up everything. He wanted me to and we packed up and moved in with my parents. And he said, just, baby, you go and I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I got my necessities and things that I needed to be able to put my hands on immediately. But he did. He took care of everything, had everything labeled, so I knew what was what. And I can honestly say that everything that I went through to get me to this point, to the point of being Mrs. Robert Minor, has been worth every bit of it. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that God has given me such an amazing husband. He's an amazing man of God. He lives what he preaches about, what he teaches about. And there are some horror stories that women can share about being married to a minister or being married to a pastor. But he is an amazing man of God. And I'm so thankful. I didn't understand it then, everything I had to go through, but to get me to the moment of becoming his wife, it has been so amazing. And I oftentimes say that there is no one that could ever take his place. And I am just so thankful. God loves me. I am his daughter. I am his baby girl. God loves me, and he did me so well when he allowed this man to choose me.
And let me say this, guys, in a reciprocal thing. God gave me a bonus. I mean, that wife that protects me, sees my weaknesses and guard them, call me to accountability, hold me with responsibility, but understands that we're in this together. Whatever I need to do to help my husband along the way. And so it has been a joy. And I never ever want to change anything. I wonder often, what would it have been if my dad never left the church and we grew up, everything together. But I probably would not have had the Donna that I have now, because through great pain and suffering made the woman that she was. And she probably would not have the man that she has right now, because the same way pain and suffering can shape you into what you do not want to be, or shape you into the same mode of what it is that you see. And just so happened it shaped me and it shaped her into what we do not want to be. I never want to be hurt, so I never will hurt her. I never want to be hit, so I never will hit her. And so all of the things that I never want to happen to me, I do not want to happen to her. And I will, guys, and I mean this from my heart. I will give my life and not even blink for her. Because I do. I love her with everything that is in me. She's not only my wife, she's my friend. And that, guys, I just have the pleasure and the joy that if by chance I'm angry with her, I can delete her from my Facebook of one. And if I need her again and I forgive her, I can again request her friendship.
And I'm not going to accept.
And I'll go to her phone and I go to her phone and push accept. So my thing is, guys, it is, she has really been my friend. And to think, knowing the person, that if it wouldn't have just been for Dad going to a church and seeing her and me being there and seeing her and running into one another, who would have known what would be today?
But you know what? I'm so thankful the way it happened, because I cannot, even if we had started out together, I think the dynamics of our children would be different. And I can't imagine our lives without all of our children. We have Jonte, Donise, Markel, Stephen. I can't imagine our lives without our children. So I am thankful. I'm thankful the way God orchestrated all of this, even through the pain, I'm thankful. So I say to you, especially those of you, if you may be a young lady and you're believing God for your significant other, don't settle. I mean, I would have stayed by myself rather than settle, because again, it wasn't just me I had to think about. I had a little girl, and when I tell you, God did us well, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to him.
Let me say this, guys. Now, no, so there will be no confusion. God did not orchestrate our divorces.
Right.
God hates divorce.
Yes.
He is totally against it. Do not want it by no means, form, or fashion. But God also knows sin will reign into the world, and what things that God ordained from the beginning, or things God had set, sin. Change it. God never intended man to die, but because of sin. So guys, with the divorce, so it wouldn't be no thing that God wanted this. What God is going to do, it was taught to me, and I will always say, you honor God and do what you're supposed to do, and you do that. God determines what you go through. You determine how you go through it. But how you go through it would determine how God will bless you. No, God never orchestrated our divorce, but because it happened and we honored God and did what we were supposed to do, because we did what we were supposed to do. We was not ones jumping out there doing our own thing. And some people, and I'm not knocking any of you, because people handle things different. Thank God for my dad that was there. It was a good anchor for me. It kept me during the time, especially when you gave your life, you gave everything to this person, and it seemed to be, it didn't go the way you thought it would. Some people can get angry and then just go right off the rails. But no, it didn't happen that way. So with that said, God gave me her, and I'm so thankful for her. God knows I don't see my life, guys. I really don't see my life without her. It's just, my kids, it's the same way that you can't tell. It means so many of you guys did not know we were a blended family, and y'all so thought, that, just ways. It's so funny when you hear people say, y'all, God, you've been together so long that you begin to look like each other. So it's been a joy.
And I say that they may not be children of my womb, but they are certainly children of my heart. And the funny thing about it is that I tell them they're children of my womb. I say I have all these stretch marks because of you guys.
She don't put Jackson in the stretch marks because of Jackson. Now because of in-law, daughter-in-laws. How you ain't had no daughter-in-law? You didn't have Jackson. She putting everybody on.
Yes.
So but guys, listen, we have held you guys plenty long enough. But that's what our lives have been like, guys, and that's what it is that God has done for us, and it has been a joy. It has been a pleasure. It has been for me just to be able to see what God has blessed me with, my wife, my children, and to see that joy. And I would not trade it for anything. And I thank God for a sound mind that I've never put that in jeopardy. I never let a temporary moment of satisfaction cost me a lifetime of pain. So my family, they're everything to me, guys. And I am a jovial guy and I'm a fun guy, but I will change in protection of my family.
Well, is that it?
That's it for me.
This has been the long-awaited our love story, you guys. And I guess this is the end of a chapter, but not of the book. We have more to share. We have more life to live. And we are so looking forward to, with the grace of God, by the grace of God, enjoying many, many, many more years together. So hopefully our love story has encouraged some of you all. And I just pray that some of you all out there, some of you young ladies are as blessed as I am, or will be as blessed to experience this type of real love.
And I'll also say to you men, step up in your place. You keep saying there are no good girls out there, but if all you keep doing is hanging around bad places, you're only going to come up with where you're hanging around. You do your job. Do your job. You prepare yourself and make ready for the king's daughter. Why would God send you, his daughter, when you ain't got your mind together? So get yourself together, and I promise you, God has one of his daughters for you too. Hey, we love you guys. We thank God for the time that we have had to share our story, and we prayerfully, guys, you guys will be able to hear this, just get more insight to us. Anything else you want to say?